my mission is to tackle the mindset, because a lot of times information isn't enough, but I need to tackle your mindset and show you like, hey, look, what would your life be if you didn't have to take medication? Right. Do you know how much time you're losing by going to all these appointments and having these medical co-pays? It's expensive being unhealthy.
It is.
People don't know that. Like, it's expensive being unhealthy.
Hey everybody, I'm back and I have another exciting guest as we continue our What's Killing Us series. It is so important for us to have these conversations in our communities because oftentimes these conversations are simply not had, but we need to have them because we're asking a lot of questions about our health. We saw with the recent pandemic, the people that were affected the most were those who had underlying health conditions. And unfortunately, many people in our community find underlying health conditions to be normal. And we consider that just a part of our culture. We consider it a genetic trait that we've inherited, when in reality, much of what our health ailments stem from are things that are completely preventable if we utilize, or one, if we obtain the education, and then if we utilize the education. So today I'm talking to plant-based Jeff. That's right. Other people know him as the Cmos boss. I mean, it's all kinds of things. I see you are representing the ATL. I see the martyr in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Certain things. I said, wait a minute, that martyr, I know what that means. Man, Jeff, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Jay. I'm happy to be here. Happy to speak to your audience and have some intriguing conversation tonight.
Yeah, well, it's going to be intriguing because you're the first brother that I have interviewed in this space of plant-based. And so I'm wondering, are you that guy that's never eaten a burger? You've never had that? You don't know what it tastes like to sink your teeth into some meat?
Oh, no. I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. So I grew up where health was not the priority. So, any kind of part of the animal you can think of, from, deer meat to squirrel to rabbit, we had it. But the crazy thing about it to me, though, even with me growing up with the chitlins and all of that was all around me with family members and whatnot, everything. I only stuck to like chicken. I was always like, man, that's kind of weird. And they always looked at me like, man, you kind of weird. Like, you don't want none of this deer meat?
Yeah, I've had some deer. I had some venison. I've had some venison.
Yeah. They like, hey, you don't want. I'm like, even eating the chicken was a certain way that I ate it. Like I would just take all the skin off. Like I was just one of those different kids, like growing up. When I ate pizza, I always, like
took all the cheese and the meat off and just ate the bread with the tomatoes.
Right. Well, I would keep the pepperoni. I was okay with that, but it was something weird about them sausage balls to me. I don't know what it was to me. I was like, man, that just ain't right.
It don't seem natural.
Right. But the pepperoni I could deal with in certain instances. In some cases, it was just the cheese and the veggies and the bread. So I was always just kind of, had it in me, but I just didn't have the knowledge, to go beyond that. I hadn't heard of a vegan probably until I graduated from college from Jackson State, and I moved to LA back in 2003. And, I kind of heard about it was a very health conscious community in just LA, California in general. They've been on that for years.
Got high taxes, but good on food and the health and everything.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the sunshine tax is what I call it.
Yeah.
You're paying a sunshine tax. But yeah, so and I heard about it a little bit out there, but still really kind of tuned it out, because if you're not on that frequency and not thinking about that and trying to get into that lifestyle, it'll pass right over you. You know, some people are like vegan. Yeah, because if you're not talking about it, if your family is not talking about it, you have no connection to it.
When did you decide that you were going to go plant-based? What was the trigger or series of triggers that said, you know what, I'm going to give up the hog balls and
everything,
and the turkey feet and all that? What led to that?
It was actually a health scare, to be honest.
Okay.
And that's how a lot of people kind of come into this lifestyle. I was overweight. The weight that I am now, I was about 60 plus pounds heavier. I was on 8 different medications. I had a lot going on, dealing with a lot of anxiety, dealing with depression, just dealing with all of this stuff. And I found out that a lot of it stemmed from my diet. And I was like, well, if I can change it, let me go to the root. Because so many times we try to, we try to fix a problem and put a Band-Aid over it. You know what I'm saying? Like if your car dirty, you're trying to dust it out, man. No, you may need to go wash the car. Right. Sometimes, we try to do all this stuff to sugarcoat and put things over something when we never attack the root problem. So when I started doing my research, I was like, man, they were saying if you change your diet, you could do that. You change your diet if and they were saying, and I kept hearing vegan being the healer, the healing diet, more specifically, the alkaline vegan diet. So I initially came in through that route, through the Dr. Sebi route.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of alkaline rich foods and water.
Exactly. Very strict, the strictest of the strict when it comes to the diets.
So you probably dropped that weight fast.
Oh yeah. So that led to me dropping weight fast. I didn't have to do a lot of exercise. I was influenced by one of my cousins. He lost a whole bunch of weight too, and he had MS, and he ended up reversing that by going alkaline vegan. So when I heard him do that, I'm like, this is blood, because you hear a lot of stuff on the internet all the time, like, hey, I got rid of this, but you don't know those people, I'm like, this is my cousin. And he was like, yeah, man. He was like, you need to really try this out. And he referred me to a young lady that kind of helped him transition. And she was kind of like your unofficial, like your tour guide, kind of like walking you through it, like, hey, eat this, do that, and it was real hands-on, we communicated through Messenger and through phone and stuff. And, you ask her questions and stuff. It was cool. But she just didn't have the capacity to reach a lot of people at once.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's kind of how my business was birthed, because I saw the pain points she had. I'm like, you can't possibly reach the masses doing, 3 or 4 clients.
So there were some limitations on her business.
Exactly. Okay. And then there was limitations on how she could service you, because, if you got a question or something, you just stuck. You just be like, I don't know if I eat it, or you just may just go left for that day. So she was kind of like your personal guide, walking you through it. So she was very helpful, very helpful. But other than that, I was just bumping my head. I used her. Well, she was kind of my stepping stone, but, I started going to health fairs and conferences, listening to podcasts. I just fully engulfed myself into learning about this vegan, healing, plant-based. I wanted to know everything I could know about it, because nobody ever gave me the information, or I was never intentionally seeking it as well. Right. So, when you're seeking something, when you focus on something, whatever you focus on grows. So my intentions were to learn everything I can learn about this. So one, I can put my oxygen mask on first and take care of me.
Yes.
And then go help my people back in Mississippi, because they were dying at alarming rates, like people just 40s, 50s, just, dropping dead, because of health issues, diabetes, heart attacks, the common stuff that most our community is plagued with.
So and I hear it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot down there. Obesity, You know, you grew up, you know, when you saw somebody slim like me, man, they thought I was sick. You know,
It's
when
like,
I
what's wrong
came
with you?
back
We need to
home.
fatten you up. We need to get you
Right,
right.
right. Yeah, they're like, no, we don't know about this vegan thing. Like, you're getting too small. And I'm like, you know, I'm at a healthy size. Like compared to my BMI, when I go to the doctor and they run all my blood work and stuff, they like, man, what you doing?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I surprise the doctors all the time. Yeah, every
So like
time I go
all
to
of your
the
stuff,
doctor.
all of your levels are good.
Yeah, yeah. And before, when I was overweight and on all the medications, I don't know if you know or not, they would give you like your report of your different cholesterol and all your
Yes.
different blood work and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
they'll tell you where you're out of spec at. So they'll tell
Yes.
you like, hey, you in a high range, high range. And year after year, I used to look through that report, and man, it used to tear me up. I'm like, man, I'm high on everything. And the doctor used to give me the same spiel, like your cholesterol too high, you know, you're pre-diabetic, you this, you that. Man, you got to do something about it. But, you know, that's all they would do and just send you on your way. Nobody gave me a protocol and said, hey, maybe you should try eating this. It was just like, hey, your levels are high. You know, you need to do something about it.
And I mean, everything you're saying is so on point because so many people are dealing with that. They'll get the report, but they don't know what the next steps are. So as you went through the
Exactly.
transition, you saw your health improve.
It almost, man, probably like within that first 60 days, like I was coming off of medications that I was on for years, you know,
Really?
acid reflux. And a lot of this stuff is so simple. Like I was on acid reflux pills for probably 15 plus years. I can remember back in college going through procedures, just always,
The
you know,
endoscopy and the
yeah, yeah,
Prilosec and all of that.
yeah. They looking at my esophagus, it's eroded, you know, erosion. They were like, man, they telling me this at 18 and 19.
Wow. Ooh,
And
yeah.
so I was really messed up. But the simple part about it with acid reflux, the easiest way to reverse it and stop it is to stop consuming acidic foods.
That's where the
I mean,
alkaline diet comes in.
yeah, yeah, it was that easy. Like all of these things that we think are like the mysteries of the universe are so simple. I mean, so simple. I'm like, okay, stop eating all that red sauce, stop eating the pasta, stop eating the sweets, the processed foods, stop with the sodas.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, they don't know that blueprint, you know,
Okay.
and that's kind of like where my business started to thrive from that, because I was given the everyday person, you know, this blueprint, you know, just like if you were to take somebody to Africa if they've never been, you know, when you first get there, you're like, man, what's going on? I don't even know what country, what Providence,
Right,
what
right, right. You just there.
village, you know. It's the same way. So I had to navigate my way through the terrain and keep going at it. Kind of like with you with the tours. I had to
Yeah.
keep going at it until it became familiar with me, and it became easy. And it became easy for me to translate it to the everyday person. Because I said, if I can reach my people in Mississippi, I can reach anybody.
You can surely reach
Yeah.
anybody. You reach
And that's
people
no
in Mississippi?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and that's no disrespect to my home state, but I just know they're very rigid in their ways.
Well, it's the culture. You know the culture. It's
Right,
no different than South Carolina. I was
right,
born in South Carolina, and you try to take that there, they're gonna look at you like something wrong. You know, some of
right,
them. But
right.
if they see your results, I think you being a living example is part of what inspires people. That's what I tell people who are in the space, that if you're the example, everybody's not going to get the message.
Not everybody.
Or receive the message and walk with it. But if you do your part, then it goes to the next level.
Right, right. And I saw that over the years. I stayed consistent. They roasted me them first 2 years. I mean,
You're losing too
every
much weight, Jeff. Oh no, what's wrong? You sick?
every single family gathering. Oh, you want a bed of lettuce? I mean, they had jokes for days. And I mean, it didn't get to me because I knew in the long run, if I was to stick with it, I could prove everybody wrong, and
You
I
won't
can
be losing feet
bring
and
some
limbs
people
and
along
all
the
that,
way.
legs and stuff. You have all of your stuff intact.
What was that?
They say you won't be losing limbs, as a result
Exactly.
of
Exactly. From
diet.
diabetes and all of that. And soon enough, I tell you, man, I became so consistent with it that they couldn't, and then they saw the movement, you know, because a lot of times, you know, we start businesses and stuff, and we think our friends and family are our first line of support. And I didn't even think that way. My mindset was I wanted to serve them first. Gotcha. I wanted to serve and give them the information and change a few of them and get them to switch over and get their responses. And after I started to do that, people started to lose weight and they started to take me serious. And then
you got family members to move on over to doing the vegan diet?
Yeah. I got a few that have switched over. I got complete strangers. Man, I got people that send me testimonials all the time. Like, you know, I got a guy, he sent me something. He said, I have never purchased any of your Cmos or your courses or nothing, but he was like, you influence me. And that's where it's weight in gold to me, because it's not about if you patronize me. I'm in it for the impact. I'm not a transactional business person. You know, a lot of people like, I got the Cmos, give me the money. I got the course, give me the money. But my thing is transformational, because if I could transform the mindsets of how we look at food and how we look at health in the Black community, I'll go on forever. So you know, that to me is worth more than money down the line. So, you know,
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of these trends. I mean, because some of the trends that are happening right now, a lot of places starting to use plant-based in their marketing. Yeah, and they're saying plant-based, you know, and even I believe we were talking earlier about McDonald's might be introducing a plant-based burger or something to that effect. But more and more people, as a matter of fact, right there in Atlanta, Dr. Kenya Greer, what she's doing is she's teaching young people how to grow their own food. And that's something that is not something that we're not used to seeing in our community. Well, it is if you're out on the farm, but then by the time we get it in, we stew it down, as they say, and we, you know, cook all the nutrients out of it. Right. But there's certain things that, again, we don't, in our culture, and this is not 100%, but it's a nice portion of our culture where people just don't think about diet and its correlation to illness. Right. I'm hearing mental health plays a part.
It does.
With your diet playing a part with mental health. So to talk about those trends a little bit.
Yeah. So the trends now is, you know, and what people don't know, everything comes in cycles. Everything. Like when we see the stock market acting up, when we see inflation, when we see the real estate market crash and these things, if you go back 100 years, you will see patterns. You can almost just see it. Now, you're not Nostradamus. You can't call it exact, but we had this wave before back in the 70s.
Okay.
Too. Yeah. It was a big vegetarian wave. You know, they were, because back then it was like, you know, it was a slim line between like vegetarian and vegan, because vegetarian, you can still consume dairy products and stuff. Okay. So we've seen this before, and they were introducing mock meats and all of that back then. And it was this whole push. A lot of people don't know about this.
No.
So when I see this, I'm just seeing a repeat. Like there's nothing new under the sun.
So 50 years ago, you said the 70s. So
yeah. So you can read up on it. They had a push. They had a whole vegetarian, you know, they were mostly pushing vegetarian, you know.
So what happened to the movement? What happened to that?
I mean, it's like anything. It's a trend. It's hot for right now, but then you got big pharma, you got these big meat companies that come in here and start with these new processed foods, you know, enter the microwave. You got all of these microwave meals now. All this stuff is starting to get introduced. So right now we're back at the phase now where it's cool, you know, everybody want to be a vegan, you know, some people doing it for the animals. Yeah, hey, I don't want to eat, you know, I don't want to eat these cows are being murdered and all of this. But a lot of people are just on it because it's a trend right now. It's cool to say you're vegan. Oh, I'm vegan. You know,
Right. You might have just started the minute you open in that moment. You might have just started instantly. You might have just been an instant vegan.
Right.
So you're vegan, yeah.
Just started as of today, as of right now.
As of right now. When you ask me, I now understand that I'm a vegan.
Right.
It's a trend. It's a fad. Not a fad, but it's the trend right now.
It's a trend, but what people are not seeing in this trend is it's a lot of processed foods coming out of it. So it's not a healthier trend. You know, it's not, it's just saying, hey, you're not doing this burger, but you're going to do the synthetic burger.
GMO.
You won't do this cheese. Yeah, you won't do cow cheese, but you'll take this vegan cheese. Both mucus forming. A lot of the impacts that you have on the regular meat side, you also have on the vegan side too, if you're eating too much of that junk food.
But you said something. You said something about mucus. Why is mucus a problem? I hear a lot of times people talk about mucus. What is wrong with mucus? Mucus seems like it would be a lubricant. It seems like it would be a good thing as long as you don't get it in your lungs and it gets too much of it. So what's the problem with mucus?
That was the key point that you just said. It. People are getting too much of it. Mucus is a balance. Mucus is supposed to catch the particles. Mucus is supposed to protect you. It's supposed to be that sticky, slimy particle inside your body to keep from harmful things to get in there, just like in your nasal passages. You need it. So like if you go through a dust storm, that mucus go say, no, you ain't gonna get all up in here. You know, it's kind of like your buffer. But the part about it, when a disease occurs, is when we're in excess. That's the only thing.
So what are some things
moderation
happen, though? What does mucus? What type of diseases do
anything? Like for example, like bronchitis, pneumonia.
Okay.
All of these things are respiratory things that are tied to too much mucus.
Okay.
Even female problems, like if you're having some sexual reproduction issues or some bacteria issues in the vagina and stuff, a lot of times that's a result of too much mucus, too much acidic foods that are causing too much. Yeah, it's causing overgrowth and all of this other stuff. So mucus, I mean, even with congestion, you know, like when you got the flu or cold, the first thing or the thing a lot of people deal with when they're going through flu and having a cold is just too much mucus on them. That's what we were having in COVID. That first strand that came out, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of times they were having to flip those people over because they had so much mucus in them.
So the mucus in the lungs,
they had
respiratory.
COVID that was taking people out.
Yeah,
because I was talking. If you go back to my interviews 2 years ago, when on the onset, I was talking to a lot of doctors. I was talking to nurses because I wanted to be on that side because we have to work together. A lot of holistic practitioners sometimes, well, I wouldn't say a whole lot, but some of them are like anti-Western medicine. Like, hey, they trying to kill us. I understand that what big pharma is. It's a money game. But at the same time, we have to work with Western medicine to understand what we're fighting against. Right. Like if you don't get the right diagnosis, how can we go in and treat you with these herbs over here in the Cmos? I got to know what's going on.
So there's a place for the medical.
Yeah. It's a partnership. It's a partnership because you need your lab work.
Okay.
You need that blood work.
And the blood work will tell you so many different things.
Right. Yeah. So the blood work, the cholesterol, all of that stuff will tell the story. But if you're so holistic, like I'm not setting foot in a hospital or a clinic, you don't know what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? We got to know what we up against. You got to know your enemy. That goes back to the 48 Laws of Power and all these other books and the Art of War. You got to know your enemy.
So how did Cmos come into this?
Okay.
How did you get into the Cmos? Because that seems like something. Does it really come from the sea?
It actually comes from the sea. It's actually a sea algae. I wish I would have brought some with me. But it's harvested from the sea. It's been around for centuries.
Sure.
Yeah. So a popular name is called Irish Cmos because the potato famine in Ireland back in the 1800s.
Okay.
They were out of potatoes, people dying left and right. So what was happening was the sea moss was washing up on the shore. So what people were doing, people were trying to survive. So what people started to do, they started to consume the sea moss. Okay. Because like I said, like we put it in gel and capsules and stuff. No, they eating it
straight out the
rinse
the
it off. Yeah, rinse it off. You know,
get the sand out of it.
Yeah, get the sand and stuff and consuming it. Because they used to have a name for it back then called the poor man's porridge, because they knew how to boil it down and to make it all thick, kind of like how we have now, how we make the gel.
Yeah.
Put like some vegetables and stuff, but it would be mainly sea moss.
Okay.
Because they were out of potatoes.
So the sea moss is what sustained them.
Yeah, it sustained them.
How did you get into the Cmos business?
I got into it because going back to what I heard before, like I said, I started off listening to Dr. Sebi. He was a big proponent of it. It was around before him. He made it popular among African Americans.
Okay.
So he was like, hey, we got these herbs and stuff, but have you all heard of sea moss though? And it does boom, boom, boom. It got potassium chloride naturally in it that relieves the nasal passages. It got calcium in it. It got zinc in it. It got vitamins. It's said to have over 90 some vitamins and minerals.
Okay.
So it's essentially a multi-mineral superfood is what it is.
How does it taste?
Folic acid, all of that.
What does it taste like? So somebody listening right now and they're saying to themselves, okay, I'm down with the sea moss, but I don't know how it tastes. What is the taste palatable?
It is. It depends on the type that you get. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because you got different colors. You got red, you got green, you got gold. The most popular and the most known is gold in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a certain species, Garcia, that's in the Caribbean. Over in Ireland, in that area in the North Atlantic, they have Chondrus crispus. So that's another species.
Okay.
It's so many different species. And everybody, they tout their horn as, hey, ours is the best. It's always like this inner community battle among Cmos providers. Like, oh no, the best is from the Caribbeans because, this is the islands, it's closer to the equator. And then you got other people that say, oh no, Irish Cmos is where it starts. So you get all of that. But all of it is beneficial. Okay. It's just like, green tomato or red tomato. That's
right. So either way.
Right. As long as it's harvested correctly, because, it's at the point now that it's getting commercialized. So what's going on now is, especially with Chondrus crispus, it's in a lot of different products. If you go to Trader Joe's, you will see something on the back of it that would indicate that it has Chondrus crispus in there.
Really?
In the toothpaste. So it's in a lot of different stuff. It's in shampoos. It's in a lot of different materials that are being produced and consumed. So normally to do mass production, you got to farm it. So right. so they have like different pools and stuff to kind of simulate like it's in the ocean or whatnot. And so that's where people get the term the fake Cmos. It's still Cmos, it's just kind of commercialized.
It's commercialized.
Now the kind that I get is what they call wild crafted, which means wild crafted means, hey, it's not in a pool. It grows freely in the ocean and it's harvested from the rocks, or either you got divers that go in the ocean and they'll grab it as well. But you do have sustainability farms too. So you got people that come and harvest it and bring it closer inland, and they will put it on different ropes and stuff so that you can have some sustainability, because you don't want to pluck all of that out of there, because you still got organisms and all of this stuff that need the Cmos too, that that complete the ecosystem in the ocean.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's deep. It's deep.
it sounds like it's very deep, and I think that what a lot of people are now coming to the realization of is that CMOS is out here. You just educated us on the different species of CMOS.
Right.
What have you seen are the benefits of CMOS? Because that's what somebody wants to know. They're hearing about CMOS. We're talking about what's killing us. We've run down that we have these health ailments, all these different things going on. What are some of the benefits that you've seen from CMOS?
I'm gonna give you that. The benefits. Before we get into the benefits, I do want to still answer your question that you said before about how does it taste. So it can have a sea-like taste to it, but those are it is different ways you could bring that taste out. You know, like using limes, using lemon. You know, boiling it. Some people like to boil it. It's all different types.
Well, a lot of people eating fish out to sea, and the fish definitely have a sea-like taste.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's,
right.
You can put in perspective for folks and say, well.
So that's the gel. You know, that's if you're getting the wild-crafted, cleaning it, soaking it, blending it. That's the gel. But then you got the capsules. So basically with the capsules, they'll dry the CMOS out. And then what they'll do is they'll grind that down and then get that material and put that into capsules. And then you got the gummy form, you got it in tincture form, they got it in any kind of edible form you could think about. So if you can't take it the gel way, it is other ways that you can consume it. So just to answer that, but to get into the benefits,
yes,
so many benefits. So they call it a superfood for a reason. The number one thing that a lot of people like about CMOS is it helps to remove mucus. You know, going back to what we was talking about, you know, they say mucus is the mother of all diseases. You know, when you start to look at every ailment, a lot of stuff ties back to mucus. So the good thing about that, it helps to remove excessive mucus. So this is especially good, like if someone had COVID or somebody is battling the flu or cold or any kind of respiratory issue, they would see relief from that if they're consuming CMOS. I noticed it totally changed my allergies and my congestion, like within the first month. I was breathing out of both nostrils for the first time in like years.
And this is just from eating CMOS. But you also been plant-based.
I changed the diet too. And that's why I'm a big proponent of both. A lot of people don't talk about it like I talk about it. They want to give you the magic pill. But you know, that's kind of like how I got the name with plant-based Jeff, because when I changed my diet to plant-based, that helps too. That helps a lot, because now I'm not consuming bread. I'm not consuming all of this stuff that causes mucus. So I'm eliminating the food, and then I'm introducing this supplement, the superfood, to even help clear the rest of me out. So it works together like, you know, like magic and like Jordan and Pippen. It goes together. You got to eat right first. So if you eat right, it really helps it.
All right. So in combination with an improved diet.
Right.
And now you bring the CMOS. Now, do people do CMOS and still eat meat, or how does this whole thing work? Yeah, I'm just thinking this through for like the person who's out there watching.
Right. Yeah. So you do have people that still consume meat. I'm an advocate of plant-based, you know, as much as possible. And when I say plant-based, it's a difference between plant-based and vegan. Because vegan, you're just saying, hey, I don't consume animal products. I don't
at all, even like leather and stuff like that.
Right. True vegans. Right. They don't wear leather shoes, belts, all of that. You know, they're for the planet, all of that. But when you cross over into the plant-based side, but with the vegans still consume a lot of processed foods as well. So they'll say, hey, I'm eating Morning Star. I'm eating Gardein. I'm eating Impossible Burgers. So vegans, they still consume vegan processed foods.
Now let's talk about that for a second. I think that's interesting. Vegan processed foods. And but I mean, because I know I went to this vegan restaurant here in the DC area.
Right.
I won't say the name of it, but the food had so much sugar and it has so much salt. I said, "There's no way this can be healthy." You know, there's no way. I mean, I taste it, and I'm one of the people who like sugar. I need a sugar coach. Sugar. I need somebody to help me with that. But with that said, I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, I said, this food right here, it tastes so good.
That's the point.
Oh Lord, but it's vegan. It's vegan. It's vegan. It's a vegan spot. It tastes so good, and that's when I wondered to myself. I said, okay, is it the processing that's making this, you know, because I mean, you know, you go in there, you're feeling all good, like, yeah, I'm about to get me some of that vegan lasagna. I'm about to go put this down. I'm about to go get me some vegan chicken legs or chicken wings. I'm gonna get me some vegan, and then you bite into it, it's like, oh, this is so good. This can't be right. The barbecue sauce on it was so sweet, but it tastes so good.
What they're doing there now, Jay, is in this whole vegan movement and this whole craze, the hype, these restaurants and these even the consumable goods that go into the grocery stores, they want to mimic the real deal so much because they don't want to lose that market share. Okay. They don't want to give you something healthy and you be like, oh man, this is just some kale and some seeds, and because you know some sprouts. You can make it healthy and still make it good. A lot of people don't know that, but a lot of people don't know how. You know, because there's some stuff that I prepared. If you go and look at my page with some cashew dressing, all kind of stuff, you know, with some jackfruit grilled, some oyster mushrooms, all kind of stuff. So you can get creative and make it taste good. But a lot of times people are looking to compete with the major chains. They don't want you because they want to tap into that taste bud.
Right. Because that's what's going to sell.
Yeah. They want you to be like, is this vegan? And if you got to question it like that, it's probably way too processed, probably got way too much sodium, too much sugar, and it's not even healthy at that point. And it's really not helping you at all besides just carrying the title to say, hey, it's vegan, but it's not healthy. You know, okay. I focus on the health part. Plant-based is real food, lentils. Yeah.
So you
okra.
You said okra.
Yeah, all this stuff. You can do mushrooms, jackfruit, beans, navy beans, black beans, lentils, quinoa instead of rice.
Now, but eating all that okra, that's not going to contribute to the mucus, because you know eating okra is like eating a whole lot of, you know, you boil that okra, you got mucus in there.
Yeah, with the slime and all of that. Yeah. But no, but a lot of times I consume okra like raw. I cut it up and put it in salads.
Yeah, I love okra too. I love okra. Yeah. I mean, I love it in all forms, boiled,
right,
raw, fried, you know, sauteed, not fried down like how you know it can get to. But I like it in the soups. When I go to Ghana and you get that banku and you get that okra and it's slimy, you know, you feel like you get wolfing down some mucus, but it's not mucus, everybody. It's not mucus. That's just okra slime. It's not human slime.
Okra slime.
Right. It's not. So it's two totally different things. Exactly. But you know, everything you're talking about, run down those you were talking about some vegetables just now. Run that down again.
Yeah. So when we talk about plant-based, I'm talking about single ingredient foods. And it's so simple. Like plant-based is whole foods. And I ain't talking about the store, but I'm talking about the food itself. It's whole.
Okay.
There's no additional ingredients. You know, a tomato is a tomato. Avocado is avocado. You know, sweet potato is sweet potato. You know, what else you got that you can put in there? Quinoa. I love quinoa. Quinoa is like a grain, you know, but it's light, it's fluffy. It's a better alternative to rice.
Okay, I need that better alternative too. I need a rice coach. I need a sugar coach.
That's what. Oh, I got swaps for all of that. So if you like rice,
quinoa is
quinoa is your replacement.
All right, I like quinoa too. See,
that's what you'll put on the bed of everything. You put that in your salads. You put that on the side, so you can put that on, some vegetables on top.
Yeah.
A few restaurants here in Atlanta, they got, quinoa bowls and stuff, or you can buy them in the grocery stores too. A lot of times they're frozen. You can put them on a skillet and cook it in about 6 minutes.
Okay.
Real easy.
Well, that's good to know about that quinoa option.
Yeah, quinoa. You say you like sweets. So for sweets, some good healthy swaps for you would be dates. I don't know if you ever had dates.
Oh, I've had dates before. I've had raw dates in Egypt, and then I had the dried dates. Yeah.
I love dates. So
dates. You don't think the sugar content in the dates is high?
It is high. It's natural though. It's natural. So you got to monitor yourself with that.
Okay.
Because that's what I use for my energy boost. So I'll eat one date in the morning before I go work out.
Yeah, that's all you need is one date. Yeah, them dates are serious. They look like sugar.
Right. And then in the afternoon, probably like around 2:00 somewhere, when you feel in that afternoon drag.
Yeah, you just need that last
I have an apple, and I like to eat them together. It's kind of like when you eat them together, it's almost like a candy apple,
Okay. Oh, the dates and the apples.
Right.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
I eat it. So that'll pick me up. Dried mango, any kind of dried fruit.
Okay. But just knowing that the sugar concentration is going to be higher.
Right.
With the dried fruit because you take the water content.
But it's okay.
I like dried mango too. I like apricots. I like raisins.
Dried mango resembles what's it called, the fruit chews, or
because it's long and it's long and it's kind of thick, and then you kind of bite it and
fruit by the foot or something, that stuff that so it simulates almost like a candy. Like, man, I love some dried mango, especially
I do too. I love some raw mango. How about that?
Yeah,
you just gotta be careful. You can't eat too much raw mango because it'll fight you back later on.
but yeah, I love mango. I love mango in its natural form and in dried form. So you got swaps for everything.
Okay.
Instead of regular wheat bread, you can do like grain bread, like Ezekiel bread. I don't know if you ever seen.
I've heard of Ezekiel bread.
Yeah. So it's made of
grains,
seeds and grain and stuff. It does have some yeast in there. So, but it's a lot. It's better than just your traditional
regular
processed white and wheat bread.
Okay.
So it's a lot of healthy swaps. If you're looking for meat replacements, we're talking jackfruit, which is native of like India.
Okay.
But they have it over here. They put it in the cans, or you can get the big jackfruit. Jackfruit's
that's the big green thing, right?
Yeah, the big green thing. Yeah. So jackfruit is real bread. Another thing I want to try is some breadfruit. I don't know if you ever had that before.
Never heard of breadfruit. That is interesting.
Yeah. I want to try some of that. What is the other thing? Mushrooms. So you can do mushrooms all kind of way. King oyster mushrooms, portobello tops. And you could grill those down and put them on the grill and have some mushroom burgers. It's so many, and I've had somebody prepare like some steaks, or like mushroom steaks with the portobello top. And they would use different sauce, just like you would season a steak, and they would let it marinate, and they would let that black pepper get on there, and they throw that thing on the grill. And I'm telling you, after it's marinated, like 12 hours or something, man, I'm telling you, now it's no steak, but I mean the same seasoning that you
so it has that flavor, the seasoning, and it has its own unique flavor.
Right. So it's so many, like I can go down the list. It's so, like, if you look at my page, I'm always preparing. I'm doing kale wraps.
So you got this whole thing worked out, and that's what I want everyone to do. I want everybody to be able to check out what you're doing. Now, what's your website?
My website is plantbasedjeff.com.
Okay. And what's your social media handle so people can go take a look at your page? I'm sure you're on IG. I'm sure you're on
I'm on
Facebook.
IG. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. Everything is plant-based Jeff.
There it is with
I'm all over the place. So I'm always giving examples of what I eat. I offer recipes. I got meal prep guides. Everything you need, I've bumped my head for you. So I tell people you can come into this thing. I got a detox that we utilize Cmos.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got a detox rocking.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Because people don't know once you detox, Cmos, some of the many benefits with mucus, it helps with energy. It gives you more energy. Also, it helps with easing the appetite. Okay. So you can easily lose weight because now you're getting the minerals. Because a lot of people are not really hungry, they're mineral deficient,
and that's what they're craving.
Yeah, so they're overeating, they chasing, trying to get as much as possible. Helps in the bedroom, and that's been known,
fellas,
years, for the fellas, for the ladies,
for the ladies too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
well, I'm not gonna go into all the details of what the problems could be, but y'all, everybody know whatever problem it could be.
Right, it helps to reduce inflammation. So it's better blood flow for the men.
All right.
It helps with women with lubrication and also just libido. Overall libido. So it's called like an aphrodisiac. So it helps in a lot of different ways. You can put it on your face. You can do a face mask with the Cmos. So not only can you consume it, you can put it on the face.
And you're about to sell out of Cmos right now. People gonna be
right.
You done ran out everything that they can. The skin,
super.
The fellas heard that the stuff you get to working right again. I mean, it's all kind of things that they can.
Energy. It has calcium in it, so it helps with a lot of different pain, and it helps with inflammation. So a lot of people that take it, they have knee pains and stuff. The pain goes away. Everything you can think of, giving you more mental clarity, going back to what you stated before about mental health issues. A lot of times we can have inflammation on the brain, based on the foods that we're eating. So, a lot of times we put people in the crazy house and we sending them to the hospital, and then they're not giving them the right.
They're medicating them. They're not addressing the chemical that could be potentially in foods.
Exactly. You're getting chemicals in food, which is keeping them on the chemicals, which is their body needs that at this point. So when you get people to eating right, I wish what they would do in the hospitals is, hey, put you on a plant-based diet when you come in there. Hey, you're doing smoothies, you're doing salads. But, we got people that's sitting up in the hospital now eating fried chicken. They eating just like they would at home. They eating, whatever they want, unless they really sick, and then now they can only do an IV. But I feel I would push, and I want to do something about this, is to change what they're getting in the hospital. And they're doing that in California already, as far as not in the hospital, but in the schools.
Okay.
They're having more plant-based options in the school system in California. And in some prisons as well, I've heard that they're having more plant-based initiatives as well. So as long as we're getting the healthy stuff, like, raw is best, but everybody can't do raw. Everybody can't do raw. Raw is the best. When you're if you're dealing with something, you're dealing with cancer, you're dealing with something serious, people always go raw. You can't go because
live food, basically.
You're getting living food, you're getting living nutrients, you're getting macronutrients, you're getting it directly from the source. Okay. You're not chopping it down, you're not cooking it out. You're getting it from the source. And I know some people here in Atlanta, and I do a few raw dishes too. It's a really good diet. It's some good food.
When I was talking to Nashiki did an interview, and she talked about the raw.
Yeah.
And one of the things that she did to reverse some negative health challenges that she had was she went raw. And I was like, wow.
That's your go-to, because a lot of people, they just get the juicing. If they don't know what to eat, they don't know how to, because, with raw, you got to study. You got to know, like, you got to be on food. But I've had some delicious raw meals. I mean, delicious. But if you don't know what you're doing, Most people that just stick to smoothies and juices.
Right. Okay.
If they just stick to that and, you know, grab you a soup here and there, whatever they dealing with, if you stick to that for a certain number of days, I'm telling you, you'll reverse a lot of ailments. If you cut out the meat, you cut out the bread, you cut out the drinks, if you stuck to just juices and smoothies, you would be surprised. That's part of my detox. That's all we do. We do smoothies, soups, salads.
Okay.
You know, smoothies, soups, and salads. We keep it real.
I think what I want people to do is to one, follow all of your social media at plant-based Jeff. But then, right, do you do demonstrations? Do you host seminars? Do you host classes with courses? Is that a part of what you do?
I got a whole ecosystem. So I got a huge digital platform. So a lot of information that I'm talking about, I have it in the form of videos and ebooks. I'm on Amazon too. I'm a published author as well. So a lot of the stuff, but I'm doing more live initiatives this year. I know we talked about some things because I want to do more. I want to do a health retreat. I already got one planned for Colombia. I got another.
You going to Medellin or Cartagena? Where was it again?
Medellin.
Okay.
Yeah, Medellin. Right. Yeah. So it's gonna actually be in another city about an hour away. I'm forget the name. My guy, he got it. Piera.
You taking everybody to where they can see the food.
Right. Yeah, we're going to like the Colombia. Yeah. We want to get them away from Medellin because they'll get the party, and we want to. We want you to heal. We don't.
Everybody knows about Colombia.
Right. So we go into an area about an hour outside Piera.
Okay.
I believe that's the name of it. So it's like in a countryside, big mansion, just coffee fields.
Okay.
They got hot spring with the hot mud and stuff that you can bake. You
got it going on, man. People need to go sign up for your tour out in Colombia. Right. Then we're gonna get you over to Africa.
Right. I want our people to get to the motherland, but then also have a healthy aspect to it, because I feel that's healing within itself, just experiencing Africa.
Right.
And not only when we do that historic vantage point, but also eating right. Let's learn about their culture. You know, let's learn about what's vegan like over here. And let's partake in their diet for 5 to 7 days.
Well, I know a good spot in Accra, Ghana called Tatale. And that is the truth. You talk about that cashew. When you started talking about that cashew sauce, I was like, oh man.
Right.
When I get back to Ghana, the first place I'm going is Tatale. I'm telling you, Jeff, that's how good it is. It is that good, and I know that your clients would definitely appreciate it. Now, with you're doing your retreats, you have your resources, and this is a mission for you. This is what you do.
Yeah.
You know, people have missionaries for different things, but you want to encourage and inspire better health so that we don't have these chronic illnesses, the chronic inflammation, the overload of mucus, all those different things going on. And I think it's so important with you as a man, you know, being able to say this, because brothers, you know, we're sitting out here, man, we don't see a lot of brothers out here saying yes. You know,
to help.
I mean, there are some, don't get me wrong, but that's not the leading thing where so I am inspired.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, when I said, man, I said, got a brother, because you know our diet, we've been raised with everything. We've eaten it all. Like you coming from Mississippi, me coming from, well, born in South Carolina, raised in D.C. You know, the typical American diet, or what's called a standard American diet, the sad diet.
Sad, and it's really sad. It's really sad. So I'm helping to change the narrative. You know, my mission is to tackle the mindset, because a lot of times information isn't enough, but I need to tackle your mindset and show you, like, hey, look, what would your life be if you didn't have to take medication? Right. Do you know how much time you're losing by going to all these appointments and having these medical co-pays? It's expensive being unhealthy.
It is.
people don't know that. Like, it's expensive being unhealthy. Like, my life it's become so easy now. Uh, one appointment a year, no medications.
To get checked out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Rewind
yeah.
that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Rewind that there. You said one appointment a year.
One appointment a year. I don't deal with a whole lot of, I don't get sick anymore. Because before, I used to just always be sick. My immune system was compromised. I was constantly running. I'm doing everything, I'm doing the cigars, I'm doing the liquor, I'm doing all of that stuff. But I'm overdoing it. I'm doing it because it's some things you can do in moderation. Right. If I get around some friends and stuff, I may have a glass of some yak or something, okay. Neat. I ain't no 100% saint. I like to enjoy myself too, but it's on a totally different scale now. I used to be on 100. Now I'm like on 20%. Because I'm just cool. I'm social with it.
Right. And you still
right.
You still bruh from around the way. You still
right. Yeah. I still like to enjoy myself. So
you're not just drinking your water and minding your business. You're not
exactly. But it's tackling that mindset, because once we switch the mindset, then you can see things from a different vantage point, and then you can say, you know what, this is really the way to go. Even in longevity, if you see the stories of the centurions and these blue zones and these places where people are living to 100 plus without assistance, a lot of their diets are like plant-based focused. Like that's a key to the whole longevity, and what you eat and exercise and your surroundings, who you're around. Are you around, are you happy? Because a lot of people are isolated. They get old and people forget about them. They don't visit them in the nursing homes. Like, that's killing them. People don't understand. Like all of that's a part of life.
Like having the social interactions with loved ones.
Yeah. If you ain't got that, like you'll start to deteriorate because you feel like you don't have nothing to look forward to. So social interaction, exercise, a plant-based diet, just having good fun, a good laugh, good people around you. These are the keys to longevity. And we can get there. And too many of our people are getting cut short. And it hurts me. I had a cousin that, passed away in like 2 days from COVID, like during the beginning of this. And I was like, man, this brother is 48, taken out. And there's so many people, with COVID, with that first wave.
Yeah, that first wave.
I think all of us.
I know people were taken out. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like I almost felt like there was some type of, I don't know, was it an intentional purge? It was something going on because it was so many people checking out. Yeah, and I'm like, this life is so precious, man. It's an honor to wake up with breath in your lungs every day. And I'm like, man, we really need to start living this thing to the fullest versus, being on a schedule with these pills. I got my blood pressure pills here. I got, what I'm saying? Sometimes you can be a slave to your medication.
Yeah.
And that's how I was.
It make it convenient too, because it's like, well, this will solve your problem without us understanding what created the problem. We think that what created the problem was genetic, when in actuality it could just be habitual. It could be with the dietary habits. And
it's the habits. That's the only thing that's killing us. It's not the food. It's the way we've been eating for years. Because I proved it. I stopped it. Somebody wrote something online and it spoke to me. It said, disease may have ran in my family, but it stopped when it ran into me. You know what I'm saying?
Disease might have ran in my family, but it stopped when it ran into me.
When it come to me, I'm like, no. We changing the trajectory. Everybody talking about generational wealth. We need to be talking about generational health so that we can enjoy our money. You don't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. You don't want to be that one, I did it. I went hard for 40 years when you got a whole 60 in you, potentially. So much life in us, man. And we got to start thinking like that. We're talking about generational wealth. I want to pass down generational health so that my son and his kids and his grandkids are eating healthy, saying, hey, granddaddy, great-great-granddaddy, he was plant-based back in the 2000s.
Right.
I want to, pass that legacy on so that they can have that. And they like, hey, we're a healthy family because our great grandfather, he started something way back when.
And this is your legacy. This is what you want to pass on to the generations,
exactly.
but not only just your genetic and blood generations. By you leading the charge with this, you're able to impact other generations and other children, other people, other adults who then impact their children, and it's a trickle down effect. So, well, Jeff, look, man, this has been a great conversation. This has been a pure joy to be able to talk to you about this. We got to come back and have you talk about your journey in business. I think that's a whole different that's a whole different topic, because a lot of people don't realize that what Jeff does is he helps you. Like, if you're interested in getting started with a plant-based business like his, you can help people get started with that, correct?
Yeah. I get people started. I got people that got juice shops and all kind of businesses, and I show them how to incorporate plant-based offerings and also Cmos too. So it's called a Cmos Biz in a Box. But I help them in all areas of the business, talking about business credit, mindset, how to acquire customers, customer journey, and teaching them to be real business owners and start to remove themselves out the business. And I'm making jail all day and teaching them about virtual assistants and teaching them how I systematize my business and how I streamline things, because I want to help people get free. Because it's one thing to be healthy and all of this, but if you steady working 60, 70 hours a week, you traded one plantation for another.
Right.
So I want us to be free. I want us to be completely free, health, everything, financially, time freedom, real freedom.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate this, man. I think everybody who's watching right now appreciate all of the contributions that you have made today. It's got us thinking. And that's the first step. You talked about mindset. You talked about you don't really have wealth if you don't have your health, and so many different things. And I think what stuck out to me was your own testimony about how many pills you were on, how overweight you were, and then when you switched your diet, that is when you began to see the change. And now you go to that doctor once a year. You're not on the medications. Your blood work is great, and it's because you were intentional about doing that. So what I want to encourage everybody to do is to reach out to Plant-Based Jeff. If you want to pick up some of this Cmos, there's going to be a link in the description where you can get the Cmos right there at that link. But I want you to reach out to Jeff as well, because there may be more questions that you have. There may be more things that you're considering, and he can walk you down through this process. He has a system in place to help you march towards better health. If you're not feeling well, if you're sick and you're tired of being sick, reach out to Jeff and see what he's talking about. Always, check in with, if you're on medications and if you have a doctor, check in with your doctor as well. Say, hey, I'm considering some, new regimen or whatever. Check off with your medical professional, just for your own, personal gratification, if you will. Do that, but also check in and just see what Jeff is talking about. You're not a doctor, so you're not able to do certain things, but there are certain common sense things, and I think that's the part, the common sense stuff that we can just kind of look at and say, well, if I don't eat all of that sugar, then it might not overwork my pancreas. If I don't eat all of that salt, then it might not cause my kidneys to retain fluid, which elevates my blood pressure. If I don't eat all of this, this bad cholesterol, then my cholesterol numbers might not be as high. So it's just certain things that are common sense. And we're talking about type 2 diabetes, just to be clear. So, man, Jeff, again, any final words you want to share with everybody before we leave?
Man, just prioritize your health. Please prioritize it. I tell everybody, wellness is the prerequisite to wealth. So if you really want to be rich in life, if you really want to take your business to the next level, it starts with your health. Take it serious, be intentional. It's resources out here. I'm here to serve. So if you need anything, reach out to me personally. I want to help. If you're a part of Jay's audience, I want to definitely look out for you. So like you said, visit that link. I got all type of materials, books, detoxes, Cmos. If you want apparel, we got it all. We got community, so we got everything for you. We want to keep you around the campfire so we can keep you lit.
Let me find out. There you go. Cmos Boss broke it down.
We want to keep you around the campfire. We want to keep you lit, So that's all I have to say. And
all right.
Like I said, let's get to Africa together. Let's do this. Let's do this thing, Jay.
Well, it's coming. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready. And part of what I do is to empower. That's what you see with Maximum Impact. We lead travel tours, but we also empower because we recognize the connection between the health, the wealth, the exposure, the experiences, and what you're doing in Colombia and what you're doing with your clients. I believe it is so important and so valuable. And the more we talk about this is how we change narratives. You talked about changing narratives. This is just another way that we can change narratives because we have conversations like this. So yes. Jeff, man, I want to thank you for joining me today. Please be sure to follow Jeff at Plant-Based Jeff at all IG, TikTok, Facebook, plantbasedjeff.com. The link below is really where you want to go. Hit that link. That's the fast track. That's the easy way to do it. Hit that link and you'll see right there, follow Plant-Based Jeff or learn more about Plant-Based Jeff right there below. And by doing that, you can get plugged into the community and you can take intentional steps towards better health. So again, until next time, take care, be safe.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny.
The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister. And you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana. And then we're going to go on a safari. And from there, we're going to go to Ethiopia. And then we go to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa, in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They are learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on our children's level so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do, and as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation, and they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa, and they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the Adventures of Darren and Destiny.